It's time for another episode of Versus. And in this Versus episode, I am pinning Speed versus Speed 2 Cruise Control. Now let's start off with the Rotten Tomatoes score. Speed has a staggering 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, while Speed 2 over here has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, if I am correct. Yeah, it's a 5%, I believe, and this is very accurate. Speed is one of my favorite movies of all time and favorite action movies of all time. So, obviously, for personal preference, which is also something that I take into account when I do this, uh, Speed comes out on top in basically every way over Speed 2 Cruise Control. Another thing that comes is protagonist. I couldn't stand the protagonist, the man protagonist in this, so I really did not like him. But Keanu Reeves, you love him so much. He's so amazing in this role. You really buy into how he's an amazing character. Sandra Bullock felt forced into this. Like in the other one, she was just that person that had to drive the bus. In this, they decided to make her the center of attention, which we don't need. All we needed was Keanu Reeves, and when he declined to be in this movie, that should have been their first warning not to make it, because he obviously didn't want to be in it. So, there's a reason that this film was so awful. It bombed at the box office. It is, to this day, one of the most hated movies of all time. It is one of my least favorite movies of all time. It's unbelievably stupid, like the fact that it's PG-13 when the other ones are. The fact that they made it PG-13 so more people could see it proves that since it was PG-13, more people hated it. At least if it was rated R like the first movie, then less audiences will be able to hate it. Well, because they would be younger, so they wouldn't be able to see it. So at least that would have happened. Meanwhile, Speed, which was R, still managed to be incredibly loved. And it has some really good stuff. It's very practical in the first movie. The second one just goes off the rails in the third act. I couldn't stand it. I thought that Dennis Hopper as the villain was so good. He was so over the top, but in a good way. Meanwhile, I wasn't the biggest fan of he plays Green Goblin. I think it's Willem Dafoe. Yeah, Willem Dafoe's. He was not as good of a villain as he could have been. Some people say that he's actually a okay villain, but no. Also, when you nickname it Speed 2 Cruise Control and you're on a boat, it's not very speedy. So you can't have a title like that. So even the title's a lie. Well, there's a lot of titles that's a lie. Home Alone 4 is one of them because, well, he's not alone in the house. There are still other people in the house, but I really hated Speed 2 while I loved Speed. Speed 2 made me love Speed even more because actually, I wouldn't say I loved it even more because I then would realize what would happen next. But I enjoyed having Keanu Reeves in it. He's so amazing. That's probably my second favorite. Actually, no, I think Jack is I think he's my second favorite Keanu Reeves character. My favorite's probably John Wick. But Neo, I feel like he's a good character, but when you come to the Matrix sequels and all the other stuff, I haven't seen the sequels yet, but I hear they're bad. So, but I absolutely love this stuff. The cast is stacked in the original. You get some really good actors in this. And of course, Keanu Reeves will go on to become one of the biggest action stars ever. So that was good. Meanwhile, Speed 2, it ruined a lot of actors' careers, I can tell you. They did not have a very good career after it. Like Sandra Bullock, she actually, her career recovered, but she didn't want to do sequels after that. She only did 2 sequels, and she actually said both sequels that she ever did were horrible, and that she never wanted to do a sequel again. So that is my verses, and the winner obviously Speed. So have you seen Speed or Speed 2 Cruise Control? Let me know if you hate Speed 2, please do. And let me know if you love Speed, please do as well. And just let me know in the comments because these are really entertaining films. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.